Episode 76. Downstairs, the monk continued his meditative chanting in the main hall. Meanwhile, Han Li was in his room, his fingers lightly tracing a stack of talisman papers as he sank deep into thought.
These so-called low-grade talisman papers, they have a faint spiritual glow. They're completely different from ordinary mortal talismans. So it seems the ancient texts were right about the materials being special. They require a specific spell to empower them.
Han Li had taken out the talisman paper intending to practice the spirit-settling art he'd learned before. But then it occurred to him, to draw a spirit-settling talisman, paper alone wasn't enough. He'd also need things like a brush and cinnabar ink. And both of those items, it seems, are sold at cultivator stalls.
Could it be that these items also can't be bought with ordinary things, and must be specially made by cultivators?
With that thought, Han Li couldn't sit still in his room any longer. He decided to go ask the monk.
You're quite right. To successfully draw a talisman, you need special paper made from refined materials, and you also need cinnabar ink mixed with the blood of a spiritual qi-infused demon beast. As for the brush, that depends on the situation.
Master Kuseng, what do you mean by it depends?
For us cultivators, the brushes we use to draw talismans aren't just made from spirit hairs of demon beasts. We can also use charcoal pencils crafted from certain rare heavenly materials. Both can significantly boost the success rate and the power of the finished talisman. But if you don't have the means, even a common brush from the mortal world will do. It's just that the success rate for crafting talismans with one is pitifully low.
Thank you for the guidance, Master. I'll go out and see if I can trade for a talisman-making brush.
Take care on your way.
Looks like I'll have to make a trip out today. I remember that brush and the cinnabar weren't cheap, probably around 6 or 7 low-grade spirit stones. Do I really have to sell the flight talisman I just got?
Lost in thought, Han Li walked out of the pavilion and headed toward the trading grounds. It was still morning, so the road wasn't deserted, with cultivators passing by in 2s and 3s. They all seemed to be heading toward the trading grounds. It looks like most of them are vendors, just like that Taoist and his group.
Whoa, look at that. That's a huge bird.
A male cultivator suddenly cried out in alarm. Immediately after, a massive dark shadow swept over the heads of Han Li and the other cultivators on the road. Han Li was startled and immediately looked up. A twin-headed monstrous bird, the size of a small calf, was passing overhead. It was eagle-like but not an eagle, covered in gray feathers. Its wingspan stretched several zhang wide, and beneath its body hung a pair of sickle-sharp talons. And on its neck, 2 bald, vicious bird heads each bore a pair of small eyes that gleamed with a green light.
What a vicious-looking demonic bird.
Ugh, it's so ugly.
The cultivators below stopped to talk amongst themselves, some even looking eager to try.
Hey, are you all trying to get yourselves killed?
That's a twin-headed crow, a spirit beast raised by the Yan clan of Lonely Rain Mountain, the foremost cultivation family. If it's here, a Yan clansman must be aboard. Are you trying to get yourself killed?
Ah, the Yan clan. The only cultivation family outside the major sects that still has a golden core cultivator.
Well, which other Yan family could it be? I arrived a bit earlier than you, so I've seen the twin-headed polygonum once. I also know that the Yan family has sent a brother and sister pair to compete in the Immortal Ascension Assembly's tournament.
No way?
The Yan clan is sending people to the Ascension Assembly too?
They never sent anyone in previous years. That means 2 fewer spots for sure.
Oh, that's right. If we run into the 2 from the Yan family on the tournament stage, won't we be in for a world of hurt?
Han Li watched the strange bird fly away with a cold gaze, saying nothing.
That monster bird's appearance. It's clearly the same strange eagle that Shishin Yu saw before. And that pair of celestial-looking man and woman must be the Yan siblings.
Han Li walked and thought to himself. The plaza was already quite crowded. It wasn't as lively as last night, but the place still buzzed with energy. Han Li felt the several bottles of pills still tucked in his robe. He decided to see if he could trade them for something else. So this time he avoided his original route, cutting in from the other end of the plaza, intending to start his browsing from the opposite side. As he walked, Han Li's gaze darted from side to side, taking in the various materials and talismans on the stalls, along with some bizarre-looking magic tools. It was all a bit overwhelming. Suddenly, Han Li's footsteps halted. He stared at a book on the stall, lost in thought. The price tag on the front read, Eternal Spring Arts, a wood-attributed foundational cultivation technique. Price, 2 low-grade spirit stones. Han Li slowly crouched down, picked up the book, and gave it a quick flip through.
I'll take this book.
2 spirit stones.
A crisp, feminine voice reached Han Li's ears. He blinked, only now realizing the stall owner across from him, who had been looking down at a book, was actually a sweet and lovely young woman.
Is this book complete?
No. The 1st through 13th layers of the Eternal Spring Arts are all here. Not a single line missing.
Han Li nodded, then idly flipped through a few more pages before finally closing the book.
Do you accept pills as payment?
Pills? That depends on what kind. If it's something for healing or curing illness, they're not worth much.
Hearing the girl's words, Han Li knew this deal was likely to succeed. Without further ado, he produced a bottle of yellow dragon pills and placed it before her.
It's a type that fortifies the foundation and cultivates the source. A medicine that can enhance magic power.
A foundation consolidation type?
The girl's previously unflappable composure vanished, replaced by a sudden, palpable tension. She leaned forward, closing the distance to Han Li, gently lifted the jade bottle and tipped out a single pill. Then, she lowered her head to carefully sniff and identify its properties.
A pill that truly refines magic power? Do you have more of these? If you have more, I'll trade for every last one. You can pick anything from my stall. If that's not enough, I can buy them with spirit stones.
With that, she clutched the medicine bottle in a death grip, her eyes fixed unblinkingly on Han Li, terrified he might say no. Han Li found it rather funny to see the normally gentle and sweet girl suddenly become so tense.
But I can't help thinking, I've still underestimated the value of this kind of pill. I'll need to be even more careful from now on. Don't rush, miss. Let's finish this deal first. Then we can talk about the next one, all right?
Han Li had originally intended to refuse, but when he saw the other's clear, guileless eyes, he inexplicably thought of his little sister back home. His heart softened, and the words slipped out.
I'm so sorry, I got a bit carried away. This book is just 2 pills.
Han Li found the price fair and agreed. He then began to scan the other items on the stall.
What's this?
A plain gray little cloth pouch caught Han Li's interest. Its mouth was tied shut with a thin red silk cord, and the bag itself was bulging and full. Han Li reached out and picked it up.
These are star-sucking grass seeds. Grass over 10 years old is the best raw material for making talisman paper.
Han Li's heart stirred. This could be incredibly useful. So he placed the pouch in front of him without a second thought. Then, he gave the other items a quick once-over. Nothing else was of any use to me.
Are you sure you don't want to pick anything else? This frost talisman is incredibly powerful. And this revitalization talisman can restore your stamina by a huge amount.
Not one to give up, the girl stepped forward and began recommending her wares to Han Li. Seeing the girl's charmingly indignant look, as if he didn't know quality goods, Han Li couldn't help but, mused, let out a soft, silent laugh.
I was actually just looking to buy some cinnabar and a talisman drawing brush. Pity you don't have them.
Cinnabar and a talisman brush, huh?
The girl lowered her head in thought for a moment, then looked up with sudden resolve.
I don't have cinnabar, but I do have a top-grade talisman brush made from the golden essence and brocade fur of a spirit beast. Its price, however, is very high. Do you have enough pills to trade for it?
As long as the item is of high quality, I assure you I'll be more than satisfactory when it comes to the pills.
Hearing this, the young woman finally relaxed. She produced a spirit talisman, traced a few symbols over it with her finger, and then tossed it into the air. It instantly transformed into a streak of flame and vanished.
Please wait a moment. My brother will bring the item shortly.
No problem. As long as it's good stuff, I don't mind waiting a little longer.
For a while after that, Han Li and the young woman had nothing to say to each other, which only served to heighten the ambiguous feeling hanging between them. Han Li found himself rather enjoying this strange sensation. With each breath, he subtly savored the faint, delicate fragrance coming from across from him. The young woman, meanwhile, kept her head down, staring at her own toes, lost in thought.
Little sister.
A loud voice suddenly shattered the delicate atmosphere, making Han Li want to glare daggers at the intruder. But when Han Li turned and saw who it was, he couldn't help but startle. A hulking giant, every bit as massive as Ku Hun, was charging straight toward them. All the way here, he'd been bowling cultivators over left and right. They'd all been furious at first, but once they got a good look at the giant's truly monstrous build, their faces went pale with shock. After a moment's hesitation, they just had to swallow their anger and let it go. The young woman watched the giant's actions and felt a headache coming on. This brother of hers is far too reckless. He's making enemies with other cultivators for no reason at all.
Hey sis, I brought the thing.
The giant man charged toward Han Li on a gust of wind, then thrust out a huge fan-like hand to pass a slender wooden box to the girl. The girl immediately passed the wooden box to Han Li, gesturing for him to open it. Han Li took the box, glanced at the girl, and then opened it. Inside the box lay a golden brush, its entire length, from tip to handle, glowing with a soft yellow light.